Live. Hip Hop Uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip Hop Uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Go gang.
Stuff than me, but whatever it is that you need to build up physically when you're an athlete, you got to make sure that that's intact so you're capable of going all 10, 12 rounds. Just in case you don't get that knockout in the first couple rounds, we got to be spiritually and
your endurance
fit. Yes, spiritually fit to go all rounds. That's what I would say. My spiritual life, keeping that intact.
Awesome.
I'll talk a little bit of hip hop with you. I see you made videos before about Lizzo. I want to kind of talk to you about, the Cardi B's, the Megan Thee Stallions, the Lizzos, and the over-sexualization of hip hop. We seen the other day that Lizzo, she jumped on the on Instagram, I think it was, and started just flashing everybody, pretty much saying F all the haters. So talk about that and talk about, these women in hip hop who is going crazy right now with showing their body parts, soft porn, as I call it.
Facts. And some of it, I think, is almost past soft porn now, almost really, because I would call it that at first too, but now it seems to be even more explicit. The first thing that we have to keep in mind is who sent them. Who sent them? When I think about, because even before I talked about Lizzo, I did a show on Suki with the Good Coochie. I thought, Lord, what's the name? I did a thing on WAP. Now I'm gonna be 100. I'm gonna be 100 because when I started doing this, I lived in such a way to where I wouldn't even get on topics like that. Like what I look like talking about that mess. That ain't even. I don't do rolling. Not just with them, but just other kind of topics. Like I'm not gonna do that. But then I realized, Vicki, if you went into prisons, if you went into the streets, right? If you gave to the least of these, why wouldn't you treat social media as, you feel what I'm saying, go into the dirty parts if this is where the attention of our people is at? And if I'm trying to reach our people, I first of all had to change my mind about addressing certain topics and start to educate myself on stuff, right? And I realized that instead of having been on the same vibration, dealing with that low-level toxic stuff, what I do is discuss something, and my goal is to elevate the conversation. You understand? So I'm going to talk about stuff because that's where the attention of our people is, right? So that's number one. Number two, we can have discussions and then begin to elevate. The first thing I think about without the over-sexualization in hip-hop of our sisters is, number one, who is benefiting from this? It is our open enemy, the same ones that I believe pimped our brother Michael Jackson, the same ones that pimped our brother Prince, the same one that demanded that our brothers teach about killing our own people, drugging our own people with this music. It's the same people that's behind this. When I studied, in particular, Suki with the Good Coochie, I found out who her manager was. And her manager is a white man that's a part of the same community that attacked Nick Cannon.
Wow.
And then I looked at him, and then I looked at an interview with one of his counterparts, not the same man, but one of his counterparts that was on The Breakfast Club. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? When I was on The Breakfast Club, he spoke in a strange way not too long ago. I'm trying to think of his name.
You talking about Leo?
Thank you.
Leo Cohen, yeah.
Thank you. What did he say when he was asked the question about him pushing music, lean, and drugs on our people? Guess what he said? I gotta eat.
Yes.
Yep.
Yo, he's not the face of hip hop, right? It was the same with the white Jewish guy that Suki with the Good Coochie's manager, and other stuff that I researched about Leo Cohen. I keep emphasizing the latest interview that he did because he did it with Breakfast Club, and they're pretty prominent. When people listen to that, that was something telling when you hear him say it out of his own mouth.
Yes.
Then guess what? When you research Leo Cohen's who his daddy is, God today. Shout out to Dr. Wesley who put me onto this research and made me. He didn't do this personally to me. When I'm talking about people, I'm talking about the impact they have on me at a distance. Right. You feel me?
Right.
Even though I had the honor of interviewing him a long time ago, and been having his number. But when I start to research his stuff, it has so many other references. It forces me to really research. Leo Cohen's dad is an Israeli who had this deal with the military, and their goal was to have a disproportionate impact on Black folk. Leo Cohen was not a military man, so he strategically decided to undo us and to attack us through music. The whole thing with receipts on that. One of these Israeli officials, this is aside from his dad's connections there, said that their number one enemy was the Black youth in America.
Wow. Man.
U.S. police, you all probably know this already, have been trained by former Mossad officials that have come to the U.S. to train, local police, and some were sent to get training over there. So for Leo Cohen to say, I'm going to do military using hip hop, y'all ain't hearing me.
Talk to him.
Tells me everything I need to know. So when we talk about how hip hop has been weaponized, music has been weaponized, our own men have been weaponized, our own women have been weaponized, our own body parts have been weaponized.
Wow.
And look at who white people elevate. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
CNN people, MSNBC people, The View people, they block me. Kamala Harris's people block me. But they interview Cardi B.
Yep. We talked about that with Dr. Boy.
Come on now. Diane, Representative Maxine Waters, bragged about how special Megan Thee Stallion is. I'm not saying these women aren't amazing in their own ways.
Right.
I'm saying it's bigger than them. I'm saying that they're being pimped, is what I'm trying to say. And they've been strategically placed to have an outsized and disproportionate effect on our society. I think that that's the bigger issue. And when I see Black men standing up, when I see Black men calling these kinds of things out, I think that begins to make a difference. And while I'm seeing a lot of toxicity among our sisters, I'm the one that created the phrase LOM, L-O-M, League of Commandments. I give women the everlasting word. However, based on the universal principles, when our men get it together, they vibrate differently, and they will automatically cause a shift in the woman when we can get our brothers together. So I really do believe that in this time of war, when our men become who they are, and when they don't become the friendly giants, they begin to properly war. I believe that that's going to serve as a deterrent and as a solution to our open enemies feeling that they can have their way with their own women. I believe that that's the biggest thing now.
Appreciate that perspective. Let's flip it on the other side, because not only is there a war on our women, there's a war on our men too. And
Come on now.
great length.